Okay, good evening. Monday, October 6, 2014, Economic Development Committee, our first meeting since the summer break. Good evening, everybody. Okay, we have an agenda out. We wanted to review the goals for the year. New members, the budget, our $1,000 budget, events, question mark, review the wreath program, and any updates from the town. Okay, so goals for the year. Last year, our goal had been basically a PR goodwill feeling for the year. I'm going to throw it out. Since we are having trouble getting members, you know, should we change our goal at all? I mean, I'm throwing out a question to the group. Should our goal change? You know, is it something that maybe if we change our goal, it might be more attractive to people, or should we just basically maintain our same course? The question for our group, because we should have a, you know, I mean, we can proceed doing the same things that we have been doing, because we have the wreath project coming up. We want to do the brochure. Hopefully we'll have some more ribbon cuttings. Should we stay that course? Or, you know, what are the thoughts out there?
Yeah, you're saying if people will be enticed to join for something else. I don't know. I mean, it's tough to tell without the people, you know?
Yeah.
I guess all you could say is we're open, you know, we're...
So, you know, one goal could be, you know, to really pursue this PR thing and really have the brochure to hand out. But I guess what I'm thinking is, well, what is our message? What are we trying to say? You know, is there really, is the Economic Development Committee worth pursuing? I mean, I'm going to say yes, but I hope, I'm throwing that out to the group, because is that one of the reasons why we're not getting more members? Is it something that we maybe should change our focus? Is it blasé, or is it because there isn't an issue going on in town?
Well, I think people maybe, if you want to say, don't care because there's just not a lot of business in Bolton and they don't really see, you know, what exactly you can do. But I think the whole, you know, if there is to be an EDC, it's the whole marketing and, you know, just saying there are businesses in Bolton, and I think we should keep pushing the, you know, we have the Bolton local, but I think that's kind of the area that we should be going, you know, like just try to say there are some local businesses and there's going to be more, and just pushing that.
I think the salt box is going to have at least 5 or 6 or 7 new businesses coming, and that's exciting.
Just have to build up the base of kind of a buy local type thing. Just build up that base and just keep working on it. And
so maybe the next meeting we should have Bolton Local come. You know, we had talked about that. I had actually talked to them offline, but maybe it's the type of thing to actually invite them to the group and maybe have some synergy amongst the groups and have some sort of good type of Bolton Local Economic Development Committee event. You know, when we had approached them before, it was just more of the money going through them for the wreaths last year. They really weren't that interested in doing that, right, Lisa?
No.
So I'm thinking, you know, maybe approach them maybe on a broader level. You know, I do think that our first event was successful, and I would like to see multiple events, but I just, you know, I don't know how to create more demand. Maybe that's my concern. You know, maybe I'm really addressing item 2, which is new members, versus, you know, keep the goal the same and have the new member second, versus change the goal to attract new members.
yeah.
I think that was a really successful event. I think that's what people want to see. Maybe that's partly what we haven't been really doing, things that people want to see. But people wanted to see that. They wanted to go see that building. They wanted to come from other towns, see what was going on. So I think working with the chamber is a good idea. They do a lot of events, and you know, I think we could bring a few more events to Bolton. We might not have the businesses in town, but we're bringing businesses to town, and that might get people interested in business in town too. Like they come over here, they So I think doing another event with them, like a couple more this year, would be really good.
So maybe that should be the goal, basically stay our PR course and target maybe two events. Would that seem,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would really like to see, we need to definitely get the wreaths done.
Mhm.
'Cause I think once the wreath's done, we have to reach out to the businesses anyway. That might be a nice springboard into maybe a January, February event.
Okay.
So I know, like, so that's like, we have the marketing aspect that we were really going after last year, but there's also kind of the technical, you know, you needed the tax incentive. There needs to be an EDC for the tax incentive.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And so along with that open space and stuff, we kind of like stopped pursuing because I don't think we saw any fruits of our labor sort of thing. So, I mean, there's probably areas of that maybe somebody with more. I think maybe maybe somebody who understands that area, a real estate agent or something a little bit more, would be able to bring more to that table, you know.
Yeah.
But I think all of us are kind of more focused on the marketing or event type stuff. So if we could get somebody that was...
That is our number 2. So I don't know if we've had any response to our ads in the paper. Do you know?
You know, I haven't talked to Pam about it. I assume she would let me know if we had, but I can follow up with...
What paper are those going in?
It was in the Bolton Independent, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know that they're having, just volunteerism in general, it's pretty downtown. They're having a hard time finding from multiple committees. There's still 2 advisory spots open, which is like a super critical
Very
committee.
important.
It's a very important committee,
Yeah.
and it has a lot of, I mean, if you want to have influence in the town, that would be the committee to get onto, because you can have a major influence on the entire budget for the town, but like people aren't even joining up for that. So I just think that
A lot of young families. Young families, and they're not in that point where they can, I mean, I know we do it, but
yeah, that's very,
it's very difficult for people with kids to do it.
yeah.
I think we should use the wreaths as a nice PR.
I think
thing
so.
for us.
If we can get the EDC's name on it and get businesses' names out,
Yeah.
if we could somehow get a list of businesses that are involved in the Bolton Independent, like
Yeah.
if they'll allow us to do that and say sponsored by EDC, just I think maybe, you know, I bet you if you ask, you know, everybody in town, did you even know there was an EDC? Probably 10%. You know, not many people would even know there is one. So,
Okay, so let's pursue basically the same PR marketing, because I am going to go before the Board of Selectmen. I think it's the 23rd,
Okay.
and with our goals for the year. So I think what we'll say is we're going to stay on the same course of the PR marketing and really get the name out there that there is a economic development committee, and hopefully use the wreaths project as a way of drawing attraction to ourselves.
yeah, I mean, I always thought we could be a conduit between the businesses and the people in town, and that's
Right.
like a perfect avenue.
Right. Okay. So how do we spend the $1,000? Should we, the first question I had was the wreath project. Is a wreath project going to require any of our outlay of money that would not be reimbursed?
No, but the biggest problem still is we don't have anywhere to put that money through.
I still don't think, I know we had the same argument last time, but we should be able to just be able to set it up so businesses can send a check to wherever, Slater's or Bolton Orchards, wherever. I don't see why we would need to get in the middle of it.
Can the town of Bolton take in checks? I thought Don said the town of Bolton can take in the check because Linda Day was going to sell flags. And she said if we sold the flag, they could reimburse the town. I think it goes into the general fund. I'm not sure exactly which fund it is. If the town of Bolton could take in
checks that...
It would just be a wash, because if we laid out money, for instance,
Like, is it a reimbursement?
it's a
type of thing?
reimbursement.
I can find out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the budgeting, like, so you're saying use part of our budget to pay for it and then have the budget reimbursed with the checks? I don't know that it works that way, though.
Okay, that would be one thought.
Okay.
One thought would be, can we use part of the budget to lay out the money and then get reimbursed? That'd be question one. The second way we could do it is, Lisa, you were saying that Ladybugs could lay out the money from a
Yeah, I could do that.
from a business perspective, and then when we sold
And then, yeah, if we don't make it back, the committee can just pay me back or something like that. But the problem with all of that is that people can't write it off as a donation. They
okay,
could write it off as an advertising expense or something under their business, so I guess.
Well,
that's-
yeah,
Is it
I mean, I
not
don't
the
think
same?
I don't think it's, well, they can't, you're saying they can't like deduct it.
Right.
I don't
As a
think this is a
donation.
deductible thing, anyway, it's not really a charity, I mean, we're not,
Yeah, well, yeah, we would be, if we were a nonprofit, we'd be a charity.
but we're not, I mean,
Right.
it's kind of more of a marketing goodwill
Right,
to
it's a
town.
sponsorship.
sponsorship.
Yeah,
So that's kind of key. We would say,
yeah. Let them know it's not a charity, it's a sponsorship.
yeah,
I don't think for $25 people would be too against that. And they would get their name, hopefully we can get their name out there.
yeah. Now, does the birthday celebration, the 275th birthday celebration, they had a means of taking in money?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, I think they did.
Maybe there was a fund or, you know, I don't know, what's the charitable, maybe there's some type of, I don't know all the codes, so.
Okay, so one thought is to have go through the town, and it can be a marketing sponsorship. Okay, if Ladybugs did it, it still could be a marketing aspect for a participant. 'Cause,
Yeah, it'd be the same thing.
yeah, it just be, that would
They
be,
rate the check to.
yeah, I don't know what would be the easier way of doing that,
Mhm.
so.
I mean, if we just told people.
I just don't want anybody to think that my company has anything
Right.
to do with
Yeah.
making money off it or anything like that.
I mean, I really think the best thing is if we go through whatever X vendor, that we just say write the check out to them, you know?
Mhm.
Well, businesses don't really want to do that, and that's the problem.
What business,
I just kind of think that businesses don't want to do that. It's a bit of a hassle for them.
hassle to do what? I'm sorry.
Well, just to figure out the money and, you know, all that kind of stuff.
And we're
Take
talking
the money.
about $25, I mean, we're not talking about hundreds. of
I know,
dollars.
you're saying that, but you're not the business, do you know what I mean? I just-
Okay, so I don't know,
It's
I
an
don't
inconvenience.
I don't
to
even know
people
what
to-
we're disputing.
She's saying that businesses wouldn't want to write out a check to say Bolton Orchards if we did it through
No,
Bolton
that's not
Orchards.
what I'm saying.
Oh.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that Bolton Orchards might not want to participate on that level because of the involvement they have to be in financially, like taking the money, keeping track of the wreaths.
Okay,
I
But
think.
don't they sell wreaths? I thought they sold wreaths.
I don't know. They
Well, we should
might.
go to somebody who sells wreaths. I mean, if they're like doing some special order just for this, then we
I'm
shouldn't do
not
it.
saying they wouldn't. I'm just saying if we're gonna do that,
Yeah.
that adds extra work onto the project. At the
Okay.
time, we have to meet with them and make sure they want to do it.
I'm
okay.
I'm
So,
sure.
so we are going to hang the wreaths all at once. So the wreaths never have to exchange hands to the
Right.
business at all.
Yeah.
Right.
So the only thing in my mind that,
They have to keep track of them.
keep track of it, but we could do
Right.
that. You know,
We
if,
can't do that if they're writing the check to them.
I'm sorry, who can?
We can't keep track of the number of wreaths they buy if they're buying them over there. They have to keep track of it.
But why don't we just do it through us? You know,
I'll get the wreaths and we can do it.
Yeah, we could do
I can
that
buy them
too.
wholesale still and
then why don't we do
I
that?
just figure the more people we get involved, the more work it's gonna be coordinating everybody. That's all. That's my concern, and that's the concern from last year. So
Yeah,
that sounds perfect. If
Yeah.
Bruce can do it.
I mean, everybody knows Bruce. If we go to say Pet Source and say we're gonna do this, and Bruce Slater's, or however you want, if you want to write your personal or whatever, I don't know. X person is buying a bulk of them, and just give the money to this person because they already bought them ahead of time, and then we'll put your name in all our literature that you were involved. I mean, it's a small enough thing where people, I think, will be flexible. I don't
I'm
think-
not worried about people buying them. I'm worried about the person coordinating, keeping track of them, ordering them.
Yeah.
That's
Well, how
all.
many do we need for the small portion? Well, what did we come up with?
Was it 40?
I don't know.
Whatever the number is.
My
right?
computer's dead, or I'd look it up.
Times 20 or $25, and
Yeah, it ended up being around $1,000.
well,
Okay.
we should start getting people. How far? Okay, do you know how far ahead you have to give the order to get it?
there's several different places we can go that have them from it usually starts right at Thanksgiving, and so.
So
Thanksgiving.
why don't we just have you do it? Why don't we just have it
do it,
closer?
yeah.
I
We're
wanna
talking
put-
a couple dozen, right?
Yeah, I don't want to put
40.
more, I think we should work offline with a specific plan on the logistics of
Okay.
how we're going to do the wreaths. It's great that, Bruce, you're willing to do that. Maybe there's a scenario that says Bruce just buys them wholesale
Mhm.
and then we reimburse, maybe Bruce submits an invoice to the town and.
Why doesn't he even have to do that? He could just buy it and we can have the business ship the money to him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We should just be facilitators, I think.
I agree, but I'm wondering if it's better, this is just a question that we should discuss offline. Is it better for businesses to write a check to Slater's or the town of Bolton? That's just a question. From a business perspective, what would the business want to do? It doesn't matter? Is it a different marketing spin that we say?
No, I mean, not really, and I think same with Bolton Orchards, it would have been fine. I think people would have been okay with it because they know they sell wreaths and, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, and it's like Bruce does a lot of that kind of stuff, so people kind of know he does that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
But I don't want it to be any negativity on Slater's.
Right.
Oh, Slater's is taking
Yeah,
a
yeah.
Well, that's what I
profit
thought
of
the
it.
Yeah, I
same
see
thing,
what you're
yeah.
saying.
Right, so if you could help facilitate
Yeah.
getting the wreaths, the question that I still have, I can help facilitate keeping, it's 40 orders, it's not,
Right, it's
it's
small
not
enough.
that
Well,
many.
We should be flexible,
So
right?
I'm just wondering whether we can actually go through the town. You can help set up
I know everything, yeah.
the actual website, but if businesses can write a check to the town, then I think we're
But
okay.
people can't pay unless we have a PayPal on there for somebody, and we don't have one for this.
Okay, so maybe you need to highlight any kind of issue that we need to work
Okay.
out.
Yeah, because I think it's not too much of a discussion.
Okay, if you could highlight any of the issues that we need to work on in the next week or two,
Okay.
and then we can attack it, because I don't want November 1st to come around and we haven't worked out these issues.
Yeah, no, I mean, these issues are a concern to me,
Well-
so.
And we should also start calling or talking to businesses now.
Right away, yeah.
If we have 40 spots, how many commitments, and is it easy to get 40 commitments, or we guess?
We got about 40 with the banner.
I think if we start promoting it the 1st of November, we're fine.
Okay, can you draw up some
But we
sort
have
of,
to promote it online, and that's one of the things, is that if we're gonna promote it online, we need to be able to pay online.
okay, so let's you and I work on
Okay.
how we are going to pay online.
Okay.
I don't know the answer to this, but maybe some. How easy is it to set up a business, like an LLC or something that you could do just for this, or for anything else that we might use and we could run?
Probably a lot of
Well,
work and time.
we've been thinking about whatever the 401c, right, is that what it's called? So,
And 401c is what?
or is it 401c?
It's a nonprofit.
Yeah.
Well,
We've talked about it, we haven't said that we were gonna do it, but we thought we might go that direction eventually.
Can wings of town committees be non-profit? That's the
We
non-profit
probably
stuff.
wouldn't be a committee anymore, we'd probably end up.
yeah, I don't, that's, now we're gonna go full circle.
Yeah, that's in the future.
That's why we originally were targeting Bolton Local to help us out with it, because they're an official 501c3 organization.
What is, I
So
don't know.
That's a
Nonprofit.
non-profit. They can take money and,
they're an official organization. We're actually a town
just a town committee. yeah.
town committee. We're not, Bolton Local is a nonprofit organization. So they're kind of a standalone, they can act as a business.
Well, yeah, we had an idea of on the website, we can, have companies buy banners and stuff, but, because we couldn't really do that, right? Or, maybe there's some other things that need to be set up. I don't know.
Okay, so what you and I need to do is powwow this over the next week
Mhm.
and to really figure
Yeah,
out.
the decision just has to be made how we're gonna do it, and then once
Yeah.
the decision's
Just-
made, that's the decision.
Just don't make it too complicated, just as simple as possible. I really think even people would be willing to just give the $25 in cash. I don't think,
I know,
There
but
needs
we're
to
not
be-
gonna get people that way, people are gonna wanna do it online, and we're not gonna be able to get the 40.
I'm just saying it's small enough where we should keep it as simple as possible and we don't get bogged down in crazy details and it doesn't happen. That's all I'm saying.
Need to be able to promote this as you know, decorating the town,
And then I have other concerns with the promotion too.
okay?
So,
Okay, so what, you know, what I would really think would be helpful is that if you could just lay out your concerns,
okay,
and then we can go one by one through
Okay.
each one of the things and really attack them.
okay.
And then, because, you know,
I mean, I've done it before with 400 wreaths, no problem.
and how did you take in the money?
All online,
But,
Through a town or?
nonprofit,
right,
yeah.
So-
We're not gonna have that.
we don't have a nonprofit, so the only nonprofit that I thought of
Well,
last
it doesn't have to
year.
be nonprofit though, we could do it through a business. So if somebody has a PayPal account like me or Bruce, we could do it that way.
Right, so why can't it be through Ladybugs?
It can be.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's fine. I think just if, you know, if I'm calling up one of the companies, they'll say, oh, you wanna be involved? So, you know, Lisa Miller of Ladybugs is, you know, buying in bulk or whatever, we're gonna go through her, hopefully you don't mind, and I'm sure people won't have an issue with it.
Yeah, I think as long as you explain it, I can't
Yeah.
imagine other businesses having
Right.
a problem with it.
With like, you know, just if you really wanna get into the details, like, we're on nonprofit, blah, 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 you know, just do it through this is how we're doing it. I think it's small enough we can get away with that. It's not like we're some huge, you know,
yeah,
corporation here trying to,
And then
Trick
we need to know
people.
the date that Harold needs them by, because is Harold gonna put
Right.
them up this year?
well, that was the plan, I had put it down. The proposal that I had put out into the agenda was that the proposal was to hang the wreaths the week of December 1st.
Okay.
That was the goal.
And then I'd like to know logistically how he's planning on hanging them,
Okay.
because there's two ways they can be hung.
Well, Lisa, it would be great if you have if, it seems like you have a lot of information. If you could direct us to how you think the wreaths should be hung, and then we just tell Harold what your proposal is.
Harold has the things up there already, so that's why that kind of changes things.
For the
Okay.
pole for the flags? the
Yeah.
little Things coming up?
so we just need
So
a
I want
hook
to
for
get
that,
his 2
right?
cents on how he thinks we should hang them.
Okay.
Because our poles are wider than the poles I hung them on before.
So Mike was talking to Harold, I think.
Yes.
Who's Harold?
He's a highway superintendent.
So, you know, we should just email Mike and say, you know, can you send your questions to Mike, and since he was the point of contact.
Yeah, so it sounds like you have an issue on the size of the pole,
Yeah.
okay, and how to hang them.
Mhm. Because when we hung them on smaller poles, you were able to put the zip tie around the whole pole.
Mhm.
But I don't know if the zip ties are gonna be long enough to go around our poles, because our poles are like this.
Okay,
You can get bigger zip ties.
Yeah.
Double.
They're gonna be
Well,
expensive.
but you don't want them to slide, well, I guess if they're tightened down, they won't slide down.
Well, there's a couple options. You could have a nail and hang them on a nail,
mhm.
but I don't know if they're allowed
What-
to do that.
So, okay, so I mean,
That's what I need to talk to him to find out what he's allowed to do. And the thing is, he already had permission to hang up all those flags.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So then we went and got double permission. It seemed like kind of a duplicative.
Well, it sounds like that was handled through the White family.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it sounds like we need to talk to Harold, and you need to be able to communicate your concerns to Harold and work it out. This doesn't seem like it's gonna be difficult. We just need to know all of your issues, or all the issues you think you have.
Mhm.
So I heard a couple, how we're gonna pay
Mhm.
was the first one, the size of the pole and
Mhm.
how to hang,
Mhm.
the date, which is what we think we
Mhm.
have, and
I have concerns with promotion.
promotion.
Mhm.
you know, what's your concern with that? I mean, if we put it on Facebook, or we personally call, you know, businesses in town, I mean, just break it up, and just, I mean, again, this isn't like a huge thing.
It's not a huge thing. We just have to, I think you just need to highlight your issues.
Okay.
If you highlight your issues, then we can literally go through each one of them and
Okay.
address them. I will call Mike tomorrow. Hopefully maybe he's even watching this. And we will get with Harold, and
Yeah, if all those concerns are dealt with by like, the 20th of October, then I can start getting everything together on the website and the payment and all that stuff. I'm not concerned with the promotion on the website, I'm concerned with the promotion of the businesses and how we're gonna present them as sponsors, because
Oh,
I
okay.
have some legitimate concerns about some of
okay,
that stuff.
so I just think,
Well, what are your concerns about that, just quickly? Huh?
Just, how we're gonna promote them.
I mean, I'm
So
sure the
that's-
Bolton Independent would put out potentially a list of people that are involved, and I'm sure we can get it on,
That's, yeah.
We can get it on-
Do you have some
we can get it on
suggestions?
TV.
Do you have suggestions?
Not really.
I think, well, I'm sure Teresa could get it up there saying, you know,
Maybe we could get
a couple
some
of
banners
pictures.
on TV.
We could get the pictures, a couple of pictures of the wreaths on the pole,
I
the
have everybody's
downtown,
logos.
how they look, and then you could just scroll, thanks to these businesses.
One of the things that I really liked, and I don't know whether this is something that we could do for the reads or something that we keep in the back of mind, when you go through Littleton,
Yeah, I was gonna bring up Littleton. Those look awesome, don't they?
they look fabulous. And it's for their anniversary. They have these,
Have you seen it?
they're like little flags that are attached to the pole.
300th or whatever it is.
But
Oh.
also,
Celebrating
That's- yeah,
Littleton.
That's what we did with the wreaths in Charlestown.
And it
We
says,
hung a little thing on
and
them.
it says the Young Family.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I Factory or whoever.
So if this is the thing, they would have like, say 2/3 of it is like
Yeah,
the
it's
celebrating
laminated.
Littleton, and then there's a banner.
yeah, that's what we did in Charlestown.
Yeah.
But the problem is here is nobody wants something on the street, so it's kinda,
I think
Yeah.
put it on TV, trying to get the Bolton Independent over
Mhm.
Facebook, you know.
Yeah. And have, kind of like a role, even if it's,
and we have Melissa too, over at that.
yeah.
And considering it's $25, I think that's pretty
Yeah,
good.
Yeah.
right, exactly.
Yeah, even if we said $30.
I'm sure that
Yeah, it
whatever
might,
they did
depending
was
on if
money.
Bruce has got to price out the wreaths and the bows
Yeah, I was gonna ask about
and the
those.
zip ties.
Yep.
But we have to ask, so we have,
So I could actually physically go out there and measure the poles, you know, like with a measuring tape. And, you know, I'm not concerned about putting the zip ties up. My concern was that, do they even come that big?
yeah. Lisa, can you just double count the polls that you want to do again?
We were just gonna do from, like, this main area, right?
Well, I think that was the intent.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think we
Start small.
wanted to do
Yeah.
all 117.
Like
Yeah.
Harvard Road to Sugar Road, or?
Well, I thought you
Smaller.
were originally proposing.
We were originally
country-
proposing from 85 to all the way down to 110.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think
I
Harvard
mean,
Road to
we could do it, but considering this is the
Sugar's really
first year,
Harvard
Yeah.
Road to Sugar is probably good.
it was still like way less than we did in Charleston.
Lisa, do you have time to meet this week and you and I can go out and count the polls? We can go out and actually count how many
Yeah, I
polls
think
we
I did
have.
count them, there was like 40, but we can go count again just to make
Okay.
sure, and we could actually measure them too.
Okay,
Well,
why don't we do that?
Okay,
We'll count and measure the polls.
can we do that Thursday morning, like 8:30 or something, early in the morning?
Because I think in general, when people drive down, it'll make, people will notice them.
Yeah.
And then we just need to put in a couple of spots, TV, paper. and
I'm wondering if we
you know.
could do a few sponsorships, like on some of the main ones.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say Economic Development Committee or something,
Hanging from,
like the wreaths. So do a couple like maybe 8.5 by 11s with our logo on them and laminate them and hang them off the wreaths
Yeah.
where people stop, where they might see it, because it'll be
Mhm.
bigger.
I'm not even sure we don't have to do that. If you just want to keep it classically looking without any advertisement, people would probably appreciate not seeing any advertisement, you know?
Okay.
Just kind of like a old-fashioned Christmas scene, you know, beautiful,
Yeah.
you know, on 17 with all this traffic.
Bruce, can you get us a quote
Mhm.
on how much you think we could get wreaths and bows for?
Mhm.
And then we'll know, we think we want to be able to sell them for $25.
I mean, because I remember driving down the road when the flags were there, and I thought it was, it was not a good, it was a sad reason why they were up there, but it looked pretty beautiful, it looked great,
Mhm.
So I think people notice them, and it'll make a big difference during the holidays, I think. Driving down the road, it goes
And then
perfectly.
actually, on top of that, if I could come up with some like, if we got them done early and we took some pictures and I took some pictures of like some kind of little country scenes in this area maybe,
Yeah.
I could probably get us featured in Mass Vacation on their blog there, so that'd
That'd
be
be
a nice
great.
promotion. Like maybe beautiful towns to drive through
Yeah,
in winter, like country towns like Bolton and Berlin and
Mhm.
maybe have pictures or something. I could probably get
Yeah, start
some
out slow this year with just the wreaths. Maybe if we find it successful, maybe in future years we can attach things to that. But at least just start out with the wreaths and the bow
yeah.
and process it right now through Ladybugs, because we know you have the ability to at least have a PayPal account.
Yeah, I have all of it.
And they can also write a check,
Yeah, and mail it to us.
mail it, right?
Get it mailed to the town hall.
Okay, I will write out what I think are the next steps
Okay.
and give them to you.
Okay,
And then you can fill in what your concerns are.
okay.
And then.
Why now have like a couple less? The date is always gonna be a concern.
Mhm. Right,
So-
so we're targeting for the week of December
I don't think
1st.
we'll have any problem selling with 40 weeks. I don't have an issue with that at all. So,
The only other issue is the paperwork. Is that good now? I know that.
Okay,
That's
that
what-
is our next thing.
that was a nightmare, huh?
It was a nightmare, yes. I'm not
Oh yeah,
quite
that's right.
sure why.
We had to vote to
Well,
approve it,
basically
right?
what happened, somebody didn't get a FedEx.
Okay,
Yeah.
so,
That's
so basically, National Grid has already given the approval for us to hang the wreaths on the poles.
Mhm.
Step 2 was getting Verizon to give their approval. So I only have 2 copies here, so this is, okay, so this was actually sent around to everybody.
Oh, this is the one that they had all around towns and.
Yes, which you called at the end.
Like, what are all these roads? Yeah, so they just took it out. She said they were just gonna
Right.
take that out.
So it says pole attachment, there shall be no pole attachment fees, which is good. And I think they also took out, it says pole attachment, any article or device in direct contact with or otherwise supported by a utility pole. For the purposes of this agreement, an attachment should include only decorative type attachment, wreath, banner, flag, etc., and not cables or wires for any type of communication signaling.
Yeah, I
It's
guess.
very broad, so that's good, so, right, I mean, I don't
So we
see,
can't start our own
Was that
network,
the,
is what
was
they're
that the
saying.
one thing that we
Bolton
had to
net.
sign off on?
we have to sign off, we just have
We have to
to.
approve it.
The pole attachment was the only thing that I saw
Concern.
I wanted just to look at before we signed it. I didn't see any,
What was the number?
pole attachment was 2.8. Dave, you probably never saw this, because it probably went to your,
I haven't seen it.
I've seen it many times.
I mean, it looked fine to me.
So what we just, Linda said we need to vote to approve it, right?
Yes,
Alright, so, should we just do that?
yes, so this
So
is,
want me to make a motion?
sure.
I'll make a motion to approve the, oh, let me see the name of it.
That was it.
Oh, is that it? The municipal decorative pole attachment agreement from Verizon Wireless.
Verizon New England and the town of Bolton.
Second.
Yeah, I agree.
Usually have to stay, you're the chairman, all in favor?
All in favor?
Say aye.
Aye. We don't have any votes.
No nays, so it looks like it's been approved.
Right.
That's great,
Are
so,
you taking notes in meeting minutes? Oh, she is.
Lisa?
Oh, okay.
okay, so this is our, so should I
Monumental vote.
witness? So I think it says town manager, so Linda will take care of it, she just
Yep.
wanted our approval.
Sure,
Okay, so we have approved it.
great.
So that's Verizon, so National Grid's all set? and that's
National
all-
Grid's all set, Verizon, this will be great, we can officially attach the wreaths to the poles,
Great.
Cool.
right?
Is
So-
that like indefinitely now? or-
Yes, it's actually, right, Lisa, is it in perpetuity?
Oh, great.
And I think it means we can hang anything on the poles.
Yeah, I mean, that's what this,
That's
So
awesome.
it's kind
actually,
of grandfathered in if
Or
they
in
want
each
to
season,
do.
if we wanted to do, you know. if we wanted
Exactly,
to-
like if we wanted to start doing a fall program
Yeah.
and putting up
Actually-
apple wreaths or something. we
actually
could do that.
2.8 is any article or device in direct contact with or otherwise supported by utility pole. For the purposes of this agreement, an attachment shall include any decorative type of attachment, wreaths, banners, flags, etc., and not cables or wires for any types of communication
So
signaling.
if we wanted to do, I don't know what event, say
Anything,
25 years from now when we do celebrating the 300, we could put up celebrating Bolton and do the banners like Littleton, and that would fall into that.
I mean, I don't see anything that says that we can't attach
yeah. Permanent
a
fixtures.
bracket.
Yeah.
I don't see that in here, unless National Grid has something in it, but that's why I called attention to this particular one. I see nothing.
Does it say anything about permanent
Yes,
fixtures? Okay. So we could technically hang something on there
As long as it
365 days a year.
doesn't, as long as it doesn't interfere with their stuff, that'll make it easier for us year after year.
Cool.
I think we're okay, other agreements. I don't see codes.
It seems like they would have some restrictions.
There are towns that do have them all year, so they change them out. They have the banner holders and they just change them out for different celebrations, right? I think that's what Wilton has.
This is the first time I've seen these type of signs.
The Littleton looks like it has something at the top and something at the
Yeah.
bottom, and it's
Yeah.
hanging,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a banner
Yeah.
held taut.
Yeah.
It's not like a
Those are
waving
so
banner.
cute.
It's
I
just,
love those.
yeah.
it looks, and I mean, it's big enough that you could see all the
Like we
businesses
could
or
even have
families.
ones
Yeah.
next summer that say historic Bolton, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, exactly, yeah.
And I'll reach out to Littleton and
That's
see
really
what they
neat.
paid for those and
Have
where
you
they
seen
got
them?
them. I haven't seen them yet.
Yeah.
I'll take a picture. I go through
That
there a
would be a
lot.
really, with our logo with the apple.
Yeah. And it's definitely, it's for their, it's a 300th, it's definitely for their anniversary celebration.
Okay.
And it's big enough that you read it as you're passing, so it'd be
Yeah.
perfect for 117.
And it, like you said, it's businesses and it's families.
Yes, it's whoever wanted to
That would be
sponsor
great.
it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, that was our big thing. So Lisa, I will take the action item. I'm gonna jot this down into our notes, that I will send a detailed, what our next steps are to getting this out. And I really don't see any issue, as long as we don't think businesses would have an issue with writing a check to Ladybugs in lieu of, we just have to come up with the words that we want, in support of, marketing, in support of decorating the town. So as long as that's what it is, and then we can actually, once they turn in their check, they get a receipt from us saying, thank you for supporting, decorating the town of Bolton. The Economic Development Committee thanks you, or something like that.
You can even say where we plan to put the, media for it.
And that's right, for the advertising, that
Yeah.
upon, so I'll take I'll write that out. So it'll also be the thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Erica and Eric, do you have any updates from the town?
I do. We have quite a few projects moving forward, so that's
Okay.
exciting. It's been a busy summer. So Clinton Savings Bank is moving across the street,
Saw that?
which is, I think, great news.
Have you seen the plans?
No, I just saw whatever was in the Bolton Independent.
Yeah, they did a great job designing the building. They worked with the design review board over the summer, and they made some changes, and it's going to fit right into the character of the town. They did a
great.
good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and they had to, jump through quite a few hoops to do that. They had to
Quite a
meet
few.
with Historical Commission, go through the 6-month delay, demolition delay, they met with ZBA, Design Review Board, and now they're with Planning Board, so this is the last, and Board of Selectmen, they've already gone through Board of
Good for
Selectmen.
them.
So, that's a big one.
When do they think that will be up and running?
I believe next fall,
Oh,
and this summer, if everything goes okay. The other project that we have right now inside the planning board is Bolton Office Park is looking to develop an assisted living facility. I think it's a 60-bed unit, one single building. Basically, they're going to subdivide the Bolton Office Park. The Bolton Office Park will stay on one lot, and then on the other side, where it neighbors Bolton Country Manor. They're gonna put the assisted living facility.
Okay, so the existing building
It's
stays
gonna
as
stay.
is?
Yeah, so they're working to keep filling that space.
So they're not gonna make use of the,
So they're
Mixed
building
use.
them? They're gonna be-
Well, they need to find an operator first. So right now, their goal is to get it permitted and then attract an operator and then they'll build it. That's their intention. So that could be tricky, but hopefully they'll find someone. And-
sounds like, until we sign off on Wednesday that they can't get anybody.
Yeah, and from the attendance at the public hearings, it seems like it's definitely a need for the town. A lot of people have come out from, Bolton.
The seniors,
and-
yeah.
Yeah, and have expressed their,
I mean, they want it to
support.
be more, they're saying, oh, you should add a memory facility and should add this and that.
So is it independent living, assisted living?
Assisted.
It's assisted living.
So not skilled nursing? So it's not a nursing home?
Right, no. So, and that's the concern too, is the quality of the facility. Everyone that's very, interested in it wants it to be the best it can be. So they're trying to work with Bolton Office Park on what goes on in there, but that's gonna be a challenge.
The big hangups have actually been with the current building, the Country Manor, right? That's the name of it, right?
For the neighboring,
Yeah,
yeah, Bolton Country Manor.
yeah. Because they kind of use some parking area that's gonna be removed, so, they actually, I think that the Codine, they're going even further than they need to, that, talking about adding extra spots and walkways and stuff, so.
Yeah. Did you see the recent emails I sent to the planning board? I'm not sure that
Oh, yeah, they
the
were talking
funding
about, yeah,
to do that. So we'll see
Yeah.
that'll be
yeah, I saw that.
hashed out at the hearings.
They were talking
but-
about easement or something,
Yeah.
just open an easement for the parking.
Now, the Bolton Independent has been covering this periodically. And I guess when I had read the initial one, I wasn't sure whether it was going to be a new building or whether they were going to do it to the existing building.
it's a
I
new
wasn't
building.
quite sure when I read
Yeah, this will
that.
be a new separate building. So,
So I feel like if you go past the senior housing that's there now, it's kind of the building's gonna be shaped so like, kind of like this,
Uh-huh.
and it's gonna be right past it.
and I have plans obviously for all these
Mhm.
projects if you'd like to see them. But
So do are they worried about not filling their existing
they are.
vacant
They
space?
are. They've had a hard time filling that space. The most recent company that moved out in September,
Oh,
they
that's-
were able to find another tenant that can fill 50% of the space that they, when that last company moved out. But other than that, I don't know if they've found anyone else.
Well, I asked him if he was, about the mixed use and when, if he'd be getting around the office, and he seemed pretty solid that, they'll be able to get people. That's,
Okay.
in the meeting, didn't seem like they were going away from the office park.
No,
Yeah.
they're still gonna try and fill that.
Yeah.
Right.
It's Mike Murphy.
Oh.
Mike, hope you're watching the,
Yeah, it's probably going, whoops.
And then we also have with ZBA, Bolton Manor, which is a 40B project on Sugar Road. That's
So I
moving
always get
forward
confused.
now.
The Country
I
Manor,
know.
the Country Manor is the current independent
Independent living
living,
facility.
but then then you just grab the other one, the 40B.
Yeah.
that was so that's the
That
original
was-
Frida's property?
Yeah, that was originally owned by Sweeney, and then I think Freddie Freitas bought it, and now Mark O'Hagan is buying it from Freddie Freitas, and he's modifying it, so he's in front of ZBA. We had our first meeting last week, which went really well, and so he's looking to actually bring that to construction now. But he
So
is reducing
40B.
it, so it's a 40B project. It's gonna be, I wanna say detached
like 40.
single-family homes.
Yeah, right.
They're reducing it. It was 42 and now it'll be 30.
Like similar
30
to
homes.
Stowe, like those ones?
I don't know what the
Are
ones.
those
in
40B,
Stowe
the
look
ones in
like.
Stowe,
The
all the
plans-
little houses?
Yeah.
I have pictures of them.
Yeah, there's some like townhouses and then there's little
Yeah.
houses in the
It seemed
neighborhood.
like, they're creating like 3 little neighborhoods, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what they're doing.
it's
You
like.
drive
right
in and
from,
it's like 3, like a bunch of units facing each other, kind of.
Yeah, it's gonna be 6 units on 5 different lots, so 6 times 5, that's 30, yeah. So they'll be like little clusters.
It's good.
So,
And 40B is like they can't go over a certain price, or how does that work?
well, 25% of the units need to be affordable. So those units will be sold, I think at 80% of what the median.
Jar on this?
Okay, and then the rest will be,
Right,
75% will be regular, and
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
wow, that's nice. He's a really good builder, he does really nice.
Yeah,
nice ones.
it'll be good.
Yeah.
So, and then just recently, I did get a developer coming in talking about 550 Main Street, which is next to the veterinary clinic, and he's very interested in doing a gas station there. So he's working with someone else who did the gas station in Berlin. So, and they're very much about building something that fits into the character of the town. They don't want to do something that everyone hates. Like, they totally got it. So I was actually pretty happy with our.
Is there enough
writing
space
with
for
them.
that?
It would be something relatively, I think it's relatively
It's a fairly small lot.
Yeah, but they are definitely willing to work with the town on what the town would want. If, like, I think in Berlin they were doing like these little bike stations because a lot of people like to bike through Berlin. They're like, we could do the same thing here in Bolton. The gas pumps could be put in the back versus the front so you don't see them, and the canopy over the gas pumps could have shingling so it looks more like a building. Like, they were definitely talking about how they could make it fit.
And this is
So-
if your back is to 117 and you're looking at integrative animal health, this is to the left.
Right, exactly.
Titleist
So,
property.
So you'd have the bank, the vet, and then whatever that's gonna be.
right. I mean, I'm sure some people would be happy about it,
Yeah.
but it could be worse. We'll see. But
gonna-
they
it's
haven't
gonna
made
be
any formal
something,
submissions, so it's not like that's a guarantee. It's just that's interest in that.
I mean, just more on the 40B that we were talking about. So if this is Sugar Road, and that's 117,
Mhm.
this is Clinton Savings Bank. There's land that kind of goes around it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And actually, this originally went down to here, but the planning board just changed it to here. So I don't know if they want to put a driveway maybe here. If they can put another business or two somewhere up in here, right? They can
For
put,
the Frida's property?
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the village overlay, so they.
right, so they can put, this is part of the village overlay, they could put part of, something. And then back here is the different lots for the
Right.
40B.
Does he want to put businesses?
Oh, Frida's? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I haven't heard
Yeah.
anything from Frida's.
But anyway, we're talking about the village overlay, there could be walkways and stuff from this, and it kind of fits into the whole kind of,
Little town.
yeah.
Have you seen the houses down at the very end of, like near Boxborough at 110 that they built? Next to Shepherd Veterinary? I think those are 40B.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
They built
Okay.
probably 6 little kind of craftsman style homes. Like very beautiful. But just really close together. Like on maybe one lot, like what maybe a regular Bolton house would be on.
Yeah.
But, people need that. Not everybody wants a big giant,
Yeah.
I mean, this 40B will be good, because if you don't do the 40B, then the state, forces something on you anyway, so we at least get what we want.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
Michael Hayes has done a bunch of these projects, doesn't he? I think that,
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
Are we done with that?
Yeah.
Events wise, I know I brought this up in email a few months ago, like where can we fit in? Like, we didn't have the 4th of July parade last year, and actually, we always go to the Harvard one because they always have it. I mean, I think it's, for the type of town we are, that we didn't have like a 4th of July parade and celebration, I think is pretty bad. Because that's kind of like, we're like quintessential America,
Yeah.
4th of July parade. So I haven't done this yet, but I've been trying to get people from Parks and Rec, and I know Karen Regan, who just left the Parks and Rec, trying to create a parade committee that would just be focused on that, because the Parks and Rec is so busy with field and all that stuff, they just don't have time for it.
There used to be Bolton Celebrates. And how
Yeah.
that group disbanded.
I don't know. I think that was just for the 275th, but I could be wrong.
No, they did the fireworks and everything.
Yeah. Couple
Well,
years.
but when I was talking to Karen, she was just saying we just don't have enough volunteers for it.
Yeah.
So if you had like a committee just for that, but so where this ties into the EDC is, I said I didn't want to be the chairman of this committee, so I don't have time. But if we had like an EDC representative on this parade committee, it could be another avenue to get businesses involved.
Mhm.
Just like Murphy Insurance paid for the bagpipers, whatever they're called.
Right.
Or even like, I remember for the 275th, they had like a band, and like they had all the games and stuff after, and a band and stuff, so I think it's another potential spot where the EDC can get businesses involved into the town.
Yeah, it's great if you can
Yeah.
find a volunteer. I mean,
Well,
so it always comes down to the same thing.
Yeah, so I mean, I've been trying to,
Mhm.
you know, talk to Karen and
I
see
think
if somebody would,
conceptually, the idea is great.
yeah,
I mean, 4th of July for a lot of families, including mine, we're not even around here
Yeah.
on 4th of July.
Like Bolton is a big, people are not here in the summer
Yeah.
town.
well, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but who knows? I think it's worth your energy, you know, if you.
I don't know how much energy I have to put into it. I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that.
And the fireworks used to be big,
Yeah.
like they used to get a big crowd for
I
it.
tell you,
I think-
it was a few years for the fireworks. One time they were at Florence Sawyer, and then the next time they moved them to the high school. It was really fun.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, like, you know, talking about, you know, economically, types of family and stuff, people traveling, I mean, we don't travel, and I think a lot of younger families with younger kids
Yeah.
aren't necessarily maybe they'll go to the Cape for a week or something like that, but no. And if we're getting more 40B housing and more housing options, it's probably gonna be more people around town.
I think I think conceptually it's a great idea.
And to
You
get
just
the
need to
EDC
get-
involved, it's another great avenue.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm just trying to get like a snowball running down the hill, and then I wanna take a step back.
Well,
But-
but unfortunately, the reality has that unless somebody's willing to spearhead
Yeah.
something, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And same thing even with our little banner
Yeah.
thing. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
it was relatively
Yeah.
easy, but it did take a lot of energy to do that.
But if we could ever get that going, I think it's a good spot where the EDC can get involved and get businesses involved.
Well, we should just earmark that,
Yeah.
you know, as, you know, it was Bolton Celebrates. It was I forgot the gentleman's name who organized it, but it was a standalone organization that ran
Yeah.
that parade,
Yeah.
or that 4th of July celebration.
Celebrates, I know that the Teagues were
Yeah,
involved.
Oh, that's
annual,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, I know that just
That's
talking to Karen, she just said that they just don't have the people.
Yeah,
There's a lot of planning that goes into that.
yeah, there's a lot of planning.
Yeah. And, you know, they probably have just enough to organize all the parks and get things moving, so.
Another idea was we could do a joint effort with Harvard. You know, Harvard has an event, you know, why does everybody have to have their own event? You know, maybe it becomes a joint event with a neighboring town.
Well, we went to Harvard's 4th of July parade, you know, post-games stuff, and it was pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, like, you know, I think people with, you know, little kids, especially my son, like, loves the parade.
yeah,
So it would be nice to be able to go in your own town, is what I thought.
would be
And I-
nicer.
You know, and it's just another little thing where, you know,
I think it's
it would add to Bolton's
I
culture.
think it's a great idea.
Yeah. It's
I
just-
do, I think it's a great idea. I just think we just need, you know,
Yeah.
someone to
And all the
spearhead it.
school age parents are so involved in the school.
Yeah.
So it's hard, it really is hard to get people from school age kids because their
Mhm.
moms are volunteering at school
Yeah.
or doing all the projects. Like
Mhm.
some of these people, they volunteer like every day. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
I just personally thought it was strange that a town like Bolton would have a 4th of July parade.
Yeah, we used to.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We have the baseball parade, right?
Mhm.
Did we still do it?
Well, and they're having the Halloween parade, which I know my
Yeah.
son's already looking forward to,
Halloween,
so.
yeah.
They do a
Yeah.
good job.
And that's Parks and Recs.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I mean, it would be a natural Parks and Recs thing to do.
But just like that big 4th of July parade is,
It's huge.
it's a huge planning
Yeah.
thing that they just, I don't know, have the time. Maybe they're talking about it right now, but,
Yeah.
I mean, if they do, I don't know.
I mean, it's definitely something to keep talking
So,
about.
so, you know, on the brochure side, I'm the one who wanted to get out of here early, but I keep
Yeah.
adding stuff. I know at the Halloween, event, they have like handing out candy.
Mhm.
If we had a brochure, maybe not this year, but by next year,
Mhm.
I know that some businesses give like a baggie with like candy and like a brochure or
Mhm.
something. I mean, we could do that too, so
Yeah.
it's just another, just popped in my head,
Yeah.
another thought of, if we had a brochure or some type of line card or something,
Mhm.
you know, but, you know,
The businesses.
yeah, just like if we had like a little, you know, paper line card with the logos and EDC and whatever, a couple of candy, and we can just. I just trying to think of ways that you can
Oh, yeah.
commingle businesses and.
Yeah, I mean, we do have the banner that we use in the 275th, we could piggyback on that.
Yeah.
Either make it a smaller or
Yeah,
bigger.
Yeah. I don't know, yeah, just ideas for
I
events.
think that's
but,
great.
but again, with only 5 people, and
Yeah,
I
we
know I'm
definitely
spread thin,
need
everybody's
to,
spread thin, we need to get people to.
yeah, expand our membership,
Yeah.
so. And then, the way that we left it was that I was gonna go to the Board of Selectmen meeting on the 23rd, talk about our goals, and then to see if we've had any bites on joining. The other question I have, do you have to be a Town of Bolton resident to be on the Economic Development Committee?
No, because Gray wasn't.
Ray wasn't, right?
Right.
Right, so I'm thinking maybe we expand our marketing broader than.
To other newspapers and things.
Mhm.
Okay.
And maybe there's some interested party that, is dying to get into Bolton, that would love to add some assistance to us.
So on Facebook and other, like
Which I think is great.
157 likes, I guess. What do you
That's
call them?
great.
Likes, members? Likes.
It's really hard to get those now,
Yeah.
because Facebook's kind of out of its, when it was new, everybody joined those things.
Everybody's
Yeah.
joined.
It's not just that people don't want their privacy invaded on their page. Like, they already have 500 friends, they
Yeah.
don't want to see everything.
Yeah,
But if it's
Yeah.
of special interest to them, like a business
Right.
locally, or a place they go, or like your
Yeah.
town, or something like that, they will join, so.
yeah.
But,
They don't know about it, there's not enough exposure to it.
so I was just thinking of a way to get more exposure, if sometime this year, maybe we can go to a Harvard EDC meeting or they can come to ours.
Mhm.
I'll email them and see, just a way to like,
Great.
maybe we put posts about their businesses and they'll do it our business,
Yeah.
and then we would get, we would maybe get some Harvard
And
people
Hudson
to.
too.
Yeah, yeah, all surrounding towns.
Hudson.
I mean, we're not like, a walled off community.
I can already start doing that, because I just hired a girl from Hudson, and she does some stuff over there.
Okay, I mean, any way that we can get, surrounding communities kind of,
And I think
Sure.
both those towns have been pretty successful
Mhm.
at expanding their business base.
I know,
Yeah.
that's crazy, Harvard really did.
Yeah. And they started off with not an economic development committee, but they started off with that financial review. I had forwarded around when we first joined, but they did an analysis that said that, based upon their spending, they needed to increase their tax base. And we tried to do that, but, we couldn't say the T word. We got, it just wasn't seen very, very well, but Harvard really used that as their basis of expansion. And they did a really nice job within their little area.
Mhm.
And then they had a great investor took over the general store and really converted that. He took personal risk in doing that, and look at that general store now.
Great spot.
Okay, so I'm gonna send out the next meetings. You'll do the minutes, right? And I'll send out what our next meetings are. And in the meantime, I will send out exactly what the next steps are for the wreath.
Okay.
And if you can highlight any issues you think we have, and then we can attack each one of those.
looks like the first Monday is November 3rd, so if on that meeting we split up,
We'll be launched by then.
well, I'm saying, yeah, if we like give everybody like a list of people to call or something, would that be
Yes.
enough time?
Well,
Yes,
yeah, I mean,
that's a
we'll start
really great
online.
idea.
I mean, I know enough people that I can reach out just even on Facebook and email, and then if you want to reach out on, we could even do a little flyer.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying if you need to
I think
divide up
I
work
think
or
the
something.
flyer is definitely necessary.
Okay, so we'll do a flyer.
And we will
Make a
also get it
flyer
through
everywhere.
Melissa, through the
Mhm,
chamber.
She can promote it.
Yeah,
Because there's a lot of people that are members of the chamber that live in Bolton, but don't work in Bolton,
Well, like
that work other
Catalano,
places. Yeah,
right.
so, there's a few different people that work at, they might not like own a company, but they might work at a company
Yeah.
over there, so I've met quite a few people that way.
Yeah, so if you need to outsource anything to any of us, just
Okay.
let us know.
And it'd be great
Do you want to do
to
the website?
run
That's your area.
on Bolton Access TV. You know, maybe we have a scroll that,
Yeah. But I was thinking we'd have a scroll on the website too, put all the logos in like a scroll, and that could scroll across the website. It's pretty easy to do.
okay, great. Any comments from anybody? Okay, well, thank you for coming. I think we're adjourned.
Oh, yeah, we have to make a motion. Are we gonna be official now, or
You know what? If you want to make us official, you make us official.
Make us official.
make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
I firsted. How do you, what do I
Is it
say?
all in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.